Hello, I'm APX Toycat, and every time a new update comes out, a lot of people use it as an opportunity to start a brand new world. And obviously, 1.18 is changing the world generation entirely, so what world should you pick? Rather than pretending there is one answer to that question, today I figured I would show you 5 seeds that don't compete with each other, but instead are 5 very different seeds for 5 very different playstyles, and let you pick what sort of adventure you'd like to have in the new update. Whether that means just getting into the technical side of the game, whether that means taking advantage of the new mountains, or whether that means just getting things easy, but now with a new type of seed, let's show you exactly what can be in store for you after this update comes out. Anyway, with that said, make sure you subscribe. Obviously, if you want to see more 1.18 videos, there's going to be a ton of those on this channel soon, as you can probably imagine. But let's jump straight into the first seed. As Minecraft has existed longer and longer, more players find themselves turning to the technical side of the game because they like to set up farms, they like to play around with the new mechanics, and they like to get as many resources as possible. Having, say, 100 potions isn't fun, they want an infinite supply of potions, and so it might be very handy for that sort of player to have this seed because this is the farmer's ideal seed. And I don't mean that because we spawn in a village where of course you can farm some wheat, some melons, some pumpkins immediately if you really want to. Those things are of course very handy, but I mean the fact that this seed gives you everything you could need to farm, especially after 1.18. What do I mean by that? Allow me to explain. So of course, spawning with a village is really great. There's a whole ton of things that can be farmed easily from a village, but you know what else is great? Being able to dig down straight from the village which you spawned on top of, and you know what you're going to find down there? You're going to find yourself a stronghold. A stronghold is really, really great because it allows you access to 2 very key dimensions right on your backyard. Obviously, it goes without saying that if you want to use this is, oh, look at this. Obviously, it goes without saying that if you want to use the end portal as a way to go to the end, that's what it's built for. But a lot of people forget about the fact that this is also a great place to go to the nether because of all of the lava. All you need is a bucket of water and a bucket of lava, and all of a sudden you've got a nether portal. And the great thing about this nether is the fact that immediately on the other side you get something that is very, very handy for players who love to brew. Because wow, look around, we've got this delightful Soul Sand Valley. It's everyone's favorite nether biome. I mean that incredibly sarcastically, of course. Should go without saying. But the great thing about this biome is not just the slightly mystical nether portal, it's the fact that you only have to walk a few hundred blocks this way, a few dozen blocks I should say, and you're gonna find yourself a lovely nether fortress. And you know what's great about this nether fortress? As you can see, it is a functioning blaze spawner working fully within the Crimson Forest biome. It's not the rarest thing by itself, but the ability to get all of the useful nether mobs, you can get piglins here, you get hoglins here, and you get blazes and wither skeletons, all in this one place that can all be effectively farmed in one area. Always very cool by itself, and the fact that this is very close to where you spawn in the overworld anyway, really, really nice. And that goes back to what I was talking about when it comes to the overworld itself, because it's not just a nice access to an end, a nice access to a nether, which then in turn gives you a nether portal, a nether fortress I should say, which is what you want to farm, which is already below a village, but it's the fact that that is then inside of this biome right here, which as you can see is slightly swampy, so you're gonna have some swamp villagers, which is fun enough by itself, but also as soon as they fix the bug to do with witch hut spawning, you're going to have a witch hut found here, so it gives you the ability to farm potions. And then also on top of all of those things which are interesting and quirky and unique by themselves, guess what? Turn around and what do you find? An ocean monument this close to land. This is already a rare, unique thing, but to have it so close to your village, which has a stronghold and easy nether access, which actually is a great nether, to have it so close to your swamp hut and your village means that you can have all of your farms in a relatively compact place. So if you're looking to start a new world and go straight into the technical side of the game, this is great for you. However, if you say, oh, is this the best I can get in terms of mountains, and you're more of a visual player, maybe instead you prefer this second seed, because this is the perfect seed for an explorer. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying that you spawn at 02060. Your Y coordinate is above 200 blocks, something which is already insane and could have never happened on Bedrock before this update. It was capped at 128, so it's pretty insane to see that, yeah, we spawn not only all the way here at 210, oh, by the way, directly behind some coal and some iron, which is pretty swell and nice by itself, but then also we can climb the mountain and get even higher from there. It's obviously kind of dangerous to do, make sure you don't get trapped in snowy snow, but look how much higher the terrain goes from where you already spawn. This is the type of seed that you're excited for in 1.18 if you want a bit of a challenge. I mean, if I'm being realistic, the easiest thing to do is to just jump straight off the cliff, but if you want to start living up here, you can chop down some trees, you can chop down, like you can get some iron going, and you can try to actually survive up here. You'll very quickly realize that food source is a problem. I mean, also cloud clouds apparently, but look at this. Look at the beauty that is this spawn. There's a village down there should you really require those things eventually, but I am much more interested in going up this thing because this is a caves and cliffs seed. Sure, you might be thinking, nah, this is all cliffs, man. This is all I'm seeing right here is new cliffs, but let me assure you, this is a seed which has great access to new caves as well. I mean, again, obviously the cliffs are going to be a great place to find emerald, coal, and iron. It's kind of cool that you can find such large quantities of these resources. Again, very, very handy for making coal blocks and things like that have been very hard to farm historically. But also, if you start to look around these cliffs, you start to see weird things like this. This is a dripstone cave that has spawned into the side of the mountain, kind of cutting it off in some ways that I think looks absolutely delighting and enticing. And so yeah, you get some of Minecraft's biggest caves here, and although they are an incredible danger to yourself, I mean, you can drop all the way from Y186 down to 149 and immediately kill yourself should you want to. It's also just a very, very interesting glance at this new terrain generation taking effect. And again, this isn't just one new cave. You don't have to go to specifically these coordinates, because if we head just further this way, you'll see, okay, wow, there's some icy caves over there looking very good. But then what's that? Also, yep, more cave entrances. Everywhere you look around here, you're going to start to find those. Obviously, cave entrances are less common than they were before this update because they're now much bigger. But just being able to look around and say, this is a real Minecraft world that you can generate and spawn into is nuts. But it's only the second of 5 interesting seeds. This is the seed for people who want to have a lair, or to simplify things, cave bases. This is an interesting seed by itself because you spawn, instead of being up on a mountain, kind of in a cave, but also kind of not. Look at my Y coordinate. This is level 76, so it's very strange to argue that this is technically a cave, but let me assure you, it is. I mean, it's as much of a cave as you can be, at least. Very interesting spawn in a cave, sure. Very interesting spawn next to lava flows and zombies immediately. But let me tell you why you're going to fall in love with this seed. As you can see, this cave that you spawn into is directly under, I mean, it feels wrong to call it a mountain now that we've seen actual mountains, but next to an incredibly large hill, and that incredibly large hill has both a ruined portal, as you can tell, as well as a village. And let me show you both of those amazing things. That ruined portal is surprisingly well formed with, as you can see, 3 obsidian, and this is all randomly generated each time, but it's still pretty nuts to have that stuff in the chest. And then just down the hill from this, which is a nice chest to start with, you can see how there's a village. So this village goes up and down in a surprising way. It goes all the way down here because it spawns in a meadow biome. That's a new feature. Fun fact you might not have known. But as you can see, it goes all the way from down here nearby the water all the way up the mountain. This is kind of, you know, like it's a cool thing to see. It's not entirely unexpected. But what is probably unexpected to most of you is the fact that, yes, what you can find is sometimes, very, very, very rarely, will you find a village house spawning inside of a cave. Look at this. This is the unluckiest villager in the world. But, oh, look, you can even see him over there. He's even unluckier than I thought. I mean, this is not a good life he's living right here. But as you can see, this is such an unlucky villager spawning in a cave surrounded by all the terrible things and very little light coming in here naturally. But this makes it the perfect cave base because you can have villagers in your cave should you want to. You might have to bring a second one in here to breed them. And yeah, you can make this go as deep as you like. And it's also a cave base which you can hide as much off or as little off as you like. Again, easy access from the spawn if you want it, or you can take away that access. It's up to you. You have light sources that you can make by removing just a few blocks, or you can choose not to. I mean, again, if we look over here, for example, I'm sure all we have to do is remove like 5 blocks up. A lot more than 5 blocks up. A lot more than 5 blocks up. But, you know, all you have to do is find the right places to make these skylights, and you could light this whole place naturally, should you really want to. Is that a good idea? You tell me. You're the one who can be the architect of your own dreams when it comes to this seed, and that is why I recommend it. It's really, really cool to go straight from the extremist extremes to each other, and this seed gives you immediate access to that, as well as lava, of course. And diamonds. So this seed will spawn you underwater, and it's a sign of what is to come in terms of what this seed offers, because this is the seed out there for people who want it on hard mode, but hard mode with a little asterisk on there, because obviously we've had terrible seeds in Minecraft's past. This isn't the worst seed ever, but it's a seed that will allow you to have a lot of fun if you put in the work, because this is the seed for explorers. It's a seed that spawns you on a giant iceberg biome. I mean, All you have to do is throw a boat down here and you're going to have a lot of fun. It's the seed that spawns you, though, on this iceberg biome with a long way to go until you're going to find anything but icebergs. In fact, for the first 1,000 blocks or so in every direction around spawn, you're just going to find Mushroom Island or Iceberg. Two biomes that aren't really perfectly set up for enjoying yourself, and so that's a challenge. That's hard. Yeah, I totally get that. Okay, so after all of that distance has been traversed, you find, I figured it would be land, but no, it's a shipwreck in an iceberg, and then there is another mushroom biome, and again, none of this is food, none of this is edible, barely any of it, oh wow, look at this, but barely any of it besides, of course, that shipwreck is even craftable. It is nuts how, yeah, let's just say, hard this seed is. We've traveled 1,300 blocks from spawn now. We've only found 2 biomes, and neither of them contained any of the key ingredients that we're really looking for. I mean, I guess we could share some mushrooms. We could get some milk going. But no, yeah, it's a real challenge to take advantage of this without being a monster and murdering your mushrooms, of course. And yeah, the fact that you can do this for so long in every direction shows me that Minecraft's new world gen is better in a lot of ways, but it also has a lot of quirks that you might not realize. So this is the perfect seed to challenge yourself, or just for fun iceberg races. I mean, again, rather than building your own ice track, why not just build little obstacles around this and save yourself some effort? That is the real selling point of this seed. But in case you want things just a little bit easier, so it's pretty well known that Minecraft has a tech tree that's pretty rigid. You chop down wood and then use that wood to get stone, which can be used to get iron, which can be used to get diamonds, which eventually can be used to get netherite. That is the basics of the tech tree. There's a lot more to it, of course, but if you want to stick the middle finger to that tech tree, if you want to be a lazy person, then perhaps the lazy seed is perfect for you. Okay, if you are that person, then this seed spawns you this close to a village, which is already pretty nice. I mean, it's right next to spawn, it's got some villagers which you could trade with, you could do it that way, or what's way more exciting than trading, going into a chest and grabbing yourself some free loot like the obsidian that we're going to grab right over here. So 5 obsidian within 20 seconds of starting a world is already pretty nice, but consider the fact that by going around other chests, you can also skip, say, the wood part of Minecraft, the food part of Minecraft, but even better than that is the fact that depending on which platform you load this up on, if it's the Windows 10 or the Xbox, you will get diamonds. If it's the Pocket Edition or the PlayStation, then you'll get yourself a ton of iron, including an iron helmet, an iron pickaxe, an iron sword, 2 pairs of iron boots. That's right, you can be 4-legged and still be fine. I guess you could just have some hand mittens or whatever. But anyway, also, then we've got enough iron to craft the rest of things, as well as an iron leggings right here, and a couple bits of gold if you really want. It's really, really cool how even on the platforms of the worst loot, you get free iron, and even if that's not good enough for you, you're like, okay, I'm lazy, having free diamonds or iron, depending on my platform, is not good enough for me. How about the fact that by going just behind this blacksmith chest right here, you'll be able to jump yourself right into a brand new cave, and it's not just any brand new cave, because as you can see, it is a dripstone cave that goes super, super deep down. In case you were left scratching your head at just how little you could see with that last bit, I figured it might be useful to show you the same cave with night vision and show you what's actually possible to find in here, because obviously it's a cave that takes you all the way down past Deep Slate Lair, which is beautiful by itself, but as you can see, with no mining required whatsoever, besides the free iron for a pickaxe, you can get yourself some diamond ore immediately, no block breaking required besides the diamond blocks themselves, which is really, really, really cool in my opinion. This seed is perfect if you do want to skip the tech tree and you're just, you know, you're starting a new world, but it's all about exploring new caves and cliffs. It's not about finding diamonds and finding this and finding that. Here is the perfect seed for you, because after that, you're already half of the way ready to go to the Nether. Just like how, if you watch this video, you're halfway prepared for the update. If you'd like to be the other half prepared, did you know I upload all sorts of videos helping you out in Minecraft that you can check out every single day on this channel, and make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on to see all of those. I love showing the most interesting seeds, and as soon as, you know, we do find more of those for 1.18, because all of the great seeds, like the, you know, the end portal that was walkable from spawn, or like, you know, all these sorts of weird, wacky seeds, the infinite repeating ravines, as soon as we find an equivalent for them, I will let you know about it on this very series right here, which I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.